Hi guys, welcome to Truth Share Podcast. My name is Miracle Ungwalu and I'm your host. Just in case this is your first time watching Truth Share Podcast and you're wondering what Truth Share is an online platform where you can get counseling 24/7. Alright, so all you just have to do is share your story anonymously. Log on to www.truthshare.com.ng. You could also do well to download the app from Play Store or App Store. But on today's episode of Truth Share Podcast, I have some amazing people with me seated by my right. Alright, so I'm going to start the introduction from there. So, hi Ayinda, welcome to today's podcast.
Hello.
All right, Gift. Hi, Gift.
Okay.
Tubo. Hi, Tubo. And Dr. AB. I love the way you smile. All right. So this sharer says, I am a married woman with a kid. My hubby read my chat with a guy, always asking me out, and he's very naughty with his chats. And I've been begging my man to forgive me after reading the chat. I'm presently 2 months pregnant for my hubby, and my hubby is not ready to forgive me because of the chats. I've sworn with my life that I have never cheated on him. I made a mistake, which I'm ashamed of. I really love my hubby. I'm so depressed and devastated. I want him to love me back. Okay, so my first question goes to you, Gifts. Have you ever been caught?
This is just too dirty. Have I ever been caught? Okay, no, I've never been caught. Because I've never been cheated.
Oh, you've never cheated?
No, I won't say I've never cheated, okay? But I don't cheat.
Yes, okay, sure.
Yeah, in this context now, I feel cheating is just like cheating is not until you actually go behind your partner that is you're actually committed to actually maybe lay with someone else. It starts from the heart, really. It's from the very first impression. Already, before you know, you're giving this person extra time than your partner. You're preferring to be next or close to this person than your partner. Before you know, you're comparing. And then you're trying to see, you now have options, okay? You are now looking at, this one is, I can actually be here and also be here. And then before you know, you're in 2 relationships. So probably if you spend 2-3 hours with your partner talking a day, it reduces because you have to share. So to put a partner in that position, I haven't done that before. But I can be permitted to analyze this story, right?
Yeah, but before we come to that, too, I think it's like you have a lot to say. But you can go ahead.
I feel that a lot of young ladies most times people live in the because for me cheating on is extra attention. I don't think there are young ladies out there that will giving their relationship. Most times that's a very when I say the figure out their attention.
Yeah.
A lot of ladies are really cheating, not cheating in the sense of laying with the other guy, but they're really cheating in the sense of
Emotionally.
Yes, emotionally. In fact, once you're already having the connection with this guy, you're going out hanging out with another guy, and your partner has you like that.
So have you ever cheated in this?
In this life?
Yes.
When I was single, yes.
Oh, wow.
In this life,
So,
Hey, that no, come
you
on.
were single.
What were you expecting him to say?
I mean, so wait,
No, we were
you have to when you were
we
dating.
consider cheating in a relationship not marriage as cheating.
No, I'm saying that in this context.
Yeah.
When you're giving someone else extra attention, not sleeping with the other person, but you're giving someone else, let's say you meet someone else in a relationship, and you are giving that person. Sometimes you do it out of, okay, I'll do it right now. When I did mine, I was already on my girlfriend. For example, we're not talking to you. And where I was working, there was someone that used to go home together. Of course, I got closer to her. And we got talk. I knew that she knew I had a girlfriend. She knew that I was in a relationship with someone else. But sometimes I knew that some conversations and stuff that I would not tell my girlfriend. Because if I did, it would cause an issue. Probably that's already cheating. Once we cannot say to what I said. Of course, that's already cheating. And once you're married and start doing that, that's the end of relationship. Well, by societal standards, it's a little bit acceptable, but marriage is not.
Okay, so what you're saying, he cheated emotionally before he got married.
No, don't do that.
Okay, forgive me. So
let's leave that. What did I say?
Alright, so before I come to Ainda, okay, I would like to ask sorry. Alright, I'd like to ask do you think the man must have been doing something wrong to have made her, give someone else attention, marry the kid and, having that kind of chat?
Okay. Well, for me, I don't think so. Because mainly, here she says, okay, I'm so depressed, I'm devastated, I want him to love me back. That means he has been loving. Okay, let me just come from what she actually said. That means he has been loving, but he stopped immediately he saw the chat. So that energy that she has been getting, the chemistry and everything, ceased. Okay, and that's why she has stopped, it's no more trouble. And she's feeling like, oh, my marriage is crashing and all that. And then until that same energy starts coming, that's when she's going to feel forgiven, really. So now, the fact that the man is not giving her, or her husband is not giving her that same emotion, same energy, being all loving, is what shows that he has really not forgiven. Being unforgiving, or you being unable to forgive someone, is not until you say it. When you can't do the things you used to do before, when you can't be the way you used to be before with that person, when you can't share that chemistry, that emotions anymore, it simply means that there's still something in your heart that is not letting you flow that way. So I feel he was good. Probably, like my friends would say, it's like this relationship I am in is very good. I can now open more branches. So, so I feel she was so good with her husband that she felt okay, maybe I can now kind of expand, you understand? But for me, I feel the husband was really good. For she to say, I want him to love me back. The marriage is actually early, and then there is no man that will not be giving your wife love and attention, especially when she's pregnant, and you're figuring out when she's pregnant. So you want to give in all your best, because the emotions of your wife, her health and everything contributes to her health, the child's going to be. So right now, she's not getting anything. Everything has ceased, and she wants it back. So it shows that the man was actually good. Yeah, I think
okay. So she actually says she's been begging her husband to forgive her. So I think this question is for Ainda and Tubo. I'm a woman. Yes, I've been there before, catching your partner cheating. I don't know what to call it, virtual cheating, right? Yeah. So I know how it feels as a woman, but the husband he's probably not talking to her. He's probably not loving her back like Gift was, emphasizing. So what do you think as a man, like put yourself in his shoe, for instance, how would you feel if you ever caught your wife doing this?
Well, for me, it's quite straightforward. There's no only complication here is the fact that she's pregnant. So you just have to find a way around it, because it's good for trust to continue, because you're pregnant for me, was serious, we were doing something important for our family here, and you're busy chatting with your mind that's sending you nasty chats. You're encouraging it, and I don't believe this just started, or it was just chat. You're encouraging this man, and there's nothing suggesting that it's going to end with one man. It may just be a character something, so I will not be comfortable at all. And if you catch any woman or man, they'll tell you it's my first time.
Actually,
yes, it's my first time, onto your court. So
it's not what you think.
Yeah. Exactly. Even when you're saying it right in front of you. So for me, it's a no, I make it very clear, what do you want in a relationship, marriage? You plan open marriages as well. So when you want me to love you, don't want me to look at any woman. I expect same from you. You know, so when you go behind, you know I wouldn't like it. We have our conscience very clear. You know when you cross that line, you know when you're doing what your spouse wants, and you continue to do it and only to hide, and then you continue. So that's for me, I don't think.
Okay, Sibo, thank you so much for that.
So
Sibo.
I'm asking my question.
Okay.
What would you do in such a situation?
Like I said, because of the child, the pregnancy, I would try to be reasonable and perhaps watch carefully the next time. Well, if not for the pregnancy, we'll have to look for you around, yes, because it's certainly going to continue.
Wow. Okay, when you actually say look for you around, it's a bit scary. Yeah, I said it's ambiguous,
like if a child wasn't in the meat.
If there was no child.
Because at that moment, it depends on you, right? You're the one in the place to forgive, right? So it depends on you. So when you just say we're going to look for a way around it, I think that's...
Yes, because the forgiveness will not come so easily for me. Like, even with the child, I will not forgive you easily. Yes. In fact, why there will be any form of forgiveness is because of the child, solely because of the child. Because once beaten, they say always shine, not forever shine. People always tell you, no, that's not what you think. No, you say it.
Okay, so thank you, Linda. So Sibo, this lady seems to, she says she's depressed, she's devastated. Probably she doesn't even know how to go about it. She doesn't know how to get her husband to love her back. So as a man, you found, God forbid, not your spouse, but you found yourself in this situation. What would you advise her to do? What do you think would make the man come back or come around? Yes.
The woman already.
No, you won't say.
But the woman, somehow, if she actually knew what to do, she would have probably done it.
Like I said earlier, the woman doesn't do that because before you make certain decisions as an adult, your choices should know the consequences of the action. You understand? So in most cases, even as guys and real guys and most of them are consequences of their actions. They know that if their wife catches them, they won't be peace. They know. So they already know this before they even go ahead. They know that. And I feel that that's a human nature and it's character. Do you understand? As a woman, you meet a guy. The guy compliments you, maybe.
Starts from somewhere.
Her husband question, I think, is very good focus on that is now termed boring. So that's
boring is not even an excuse here.
It's not. Once you take that vow, you should commit it. You should find a way to. I don't know if you've seen this movie, Diary of a Married Counselor.
Yes.
You've seen that movie. Where the guy was good, the guy plays everything. It was just not enough for the lady. Because she now found adventure. But at the end of the day, it also happened. So I feel that from the beginning, you meet the guy. The guy is giving you attention. You are enjoying the attention. Probably your husband is focusing on the future. You're there. It's heartbreaking in so many ways. The guy doesn't have to even wait to find out if you did the deeds for him to get very upset. That's already very heartbreaking because it now feels like two of you are on the same page.
That's suspecting me.
So that's how
my pregnancy.
So at that point, if I were the man, I would separate. And I'm being blunt about it.
Separate.
I'm not saying now, I would separate for a very, I'll separate for a while and think about how to deal with this. That's what I would do. I might not leave my house, but I will separate.
Promises.
Apology won't just cut it. For a man and woman, apology just doesn't cut it.
Oh wow.
It takes time to heal from this kind of thing.
I love your gender. Yeah, because if it was a man caught, the woman would be advised to.
No. The truth is that for a woman, if a woman gets, if if a woman catches her husband cheating, it's the same thing. The difference is that the society we find ourselves in conditions women to go to make certain decisions that men. That's not on men, that's on society. Do you understand? A man can just wake up and walk away. A woman can't, because it's society. It's not our fault as a man. It's not the woman's fault too. Do you understand? Although some women wake up and take that boat here. Some men can. And maybe not in our environment, maybe not in Africa.
Once they have
across the world. Exactly. So it's still
you're just saying, in essence, as a woman, know that you're a woman. Always remember that you're a woman. The society has no excuse for you.
I'm just saying that decisions that a man may make may not be very easy for a woman to make. However, I'm speaking for myself right now. If I was in that, I can even stay in that house and settle it. There are a lot of decisions.
Is that more painful?
But we have to go through a process. Because you started a process, and we have to complete the process.
Wow.
There must be a reaction.
Wow.
That is exactly what it is.
Wow.
So if I were to advise the man, like he said, there's a baby, you have to consider that child. You bring an innocent child to you. There are a lot of decisions you have to make. You have to still watch. In that sense, you have to watch. But at the end of the day, the lady has broken trust. And that trust is going to be very hard to repair. Even if it was the man that cheated and the man that cheated. So it's actually, there was no sex involved. Actually, if sex was involved, I don't think we would be happy.
But how are we sure? Because she only gave a part of the whole story.
Now would they catch?
Imagine this game of the whole paternity fraud stuff and all that. Are we sure that the child?
Okay, for the sake of this,
Exactly.
for what was shared, let's not take it that far. You actually looked like you had something else to say.
I'm happy men are speaking, and they are really sounding like they will not forgive. But we always put in the shoes of he is a man. He's an African man. Do you understand that statement? They are permitted to go AY and be forgiven at every time. In short, to the extent that the woman will actually now accustom herself and be expecting him to cheat. So even for a long period, if you say
you forgive in advance.
Yeah. When they do, you say, "Now, so my husband be." That's how men behave. Am I the first man to do it? But when a woman does it, you see the man. So, and my. I won't ever just say that you get that the men that cheat, they are the ones that are really angry when they cheat on them. Their reaction is something else. Those men that cheat, when you cheat on them, oh no, can you allow? I know I allowed you to express yourself, saying you will stay in another room. You're allowed to even move because you saw a chat. But women even meet their husbands on bed with another. There was a story of a woman that died pushing her husband with a side chick, right? Yes. She's just the other Romeo that we don't know. Do you get? I always tell myself, if I was the one being caught in this act, what would I do? Yes, she entertained another person. But you know, the matters of the heart is in marriage especially. It's not being treated like a company job or something that you say your husband. Yes, he can be focused. He can be looking at the future. But at that time, where were you when someone else was giving your wife a kind of entertainment that you have not been offering and you stay in the same house with her? I'm not supporting the woman, okay? I'm not supporting her, all right? Bonnie, in this case,
so you feel she was neglected at some point?
Not apart from being neglected. Let me take that as one, okay? But on the other hand, what about your love life when you get married? Some people get married and everything that their relationship looked like becomes like it was a dream or a throwback. I'm not blaming the man. I'm looking at the angle of. I'm looking at the angle of what was she lacking? Emotional attention. No, we are not talking about physical.
No, but gift. You actually said from what you read,
from what
Why
she
can't
had.
you
the
have
guy
that?
actually loved her.
Why can't
Exactly.
you
Where
have
is the man?
Yeah.
The guy was
that?
being
That's
naughty.
it. We can copy that chat and
I think I understand. I think I understand what she's
The
saying.
guy was
She's
naughty.
probably that kind of person, or she was that kind of person before she got
Yes,
married.
and she got
And
married
then
and
they
got
hold
really
back.
serious.
You marry somebody that is not
Hello. Okay, now can you imagine?
Perhaps wants to enjoy
the man that is not notice money and enjoy the attention of the naughty one.
What was that thing? So why were you being naughty in the relationship?
Let us call it straight.
We don't know how the
Hey.
relationship was.
She went out.
We don't know how the relationship was.
Okay.
But if I am to assume what the relationship based on the story,
Okay.
I would think that the guy was the sort of guy that really worked hard, got really serious, eventually was. And once you're to an extent, really ready or successful, and live a life, every man out there is white, potential wife. At that point, every man behaves themselves around you to make sure that they are the one you get married. At least 95 or okay, I'll be. Let's say
Okay.
you meet. Let me give it a simple scenario. There's a guy, he's 5, he got another advanced job, he's working for the family, he has a house, that's his house, and very settled. Which girl will not want to marry that kind of guy? Who? 90% of ladies that will meet him will say yes to him. Ethnicity will make him disappear. If it was the case of his Yoruba,
Well,
it will automatically
so I think that's what you think as a man.
I think that I think no.
But I also feel it works on both sides.
This is
If
what
a guy should see a very successful woman that is well-to-do, he will settle down with her and be a
so why is he saying that before everybody is successful?
Let me
Yeah.
hear. Make I hear. Speak for yourself.
Ooh, so now I'm talking about like
So
in
men
most
don't mind being
cases-
controlling, and they'll still have a side chick outside the house.
In
Yeah,
most
now.
cases, in
So men will
most
take the rich
cases-
woman's money and give it to their
See,
kid
the
outside.
truth still remains that
Okay.
she went outside, she brought problems.
She went outside. She
The
brought
guy come from outside.
From what she
Which
told
time
us,
chance?
she never
That
said my
chance.
husband had
But I think
so I
chances-
decided
See
to
what,
that
see what,
husband.
can I say something before we move on to Dr. B? I'm really sorry. But I think it's easy for a woman to just be honest and, say, I did it. I feel like if the guy was actually the one being caught, he would never admit, even if there's an evidence.
I think we're talking.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I think
understand.
I think what you're saying is within the boundaries of outside Africa. I don't think it's outside across the world. I think people are really honest. If you catch them, they'll say, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm whatever I want to do." Maybe because they're too, it's easy to get them. But it's still a lot of these things we discuss about here. It's still within the boundaries of our culture and our society, and that's why certain things are not entertained. Even as a married guy, there are a lot of things that are expected from you. Whether you accept it or not, whether you do it or not. See, let me tell you something about cheating, especially in relationships or marriage. Even if you're not states and you're too deep, you grow older, you will feel cheating. The woman will show you when you get older because
True.
that connection will not. So
I think men fail to realize this on time.
when a woman does this and you do it, you just got married 2 months. You've never enjoyed the few years of your marriage. When you're supposed to enjoy your marriage and you start. What are the chances that in 10 years, when it gets like how it was, when it gets boring, what are the chances that
No, she
you not
said
meet
it's already
someone?
boring, and that's why she's...
Okay, sorry, so then it's boring. What are the
She
chances
did
that
actually say that.
That's what
Okay,
she's
that's what
trying to
he
do, that
said.
really-
Exactly.
In
I feel like
That's an
in how many years?
things. No, hold on. It's no.
So is the
You
man
know, when
permitted
it's
to
when
say
it's time
the wife
to
is
point-
boring and he wants to go out? Will she permit that?
Do men actually?
You guys don't even wait for it to
have
get boring.
reasons to cheat?
Do men wait for it to get boring?
Men actually, I feel like
They
men do not even have
Every
reasons to
time,
cheat.
everywhere, anytime. They cheat 1 year in a marriage,
All
2
at
years,
once,
3 years,
See,
and all.
this particular, what we're talking about right now is a woman that carried from the house.
Exactly.
And we should leave it within that.
Exactly.
Let's talk about when I man.
Why are you trying to take men out of this?
Because the woman is the
Why are
man.
you trying to take
The
men
man is
out
out
of
of the
this?
woman. The woman is embarrassed and nice to man.
And this is
So you can say the man
No. We cannot take the men out of this.
Okay, please.
The man is the one being unforgiving. And we are trying to forget that
You
in
have to
Africa,
end
the
up
woman
with
is no. If a man cheats, that's when the right woman is
when there's
better
an offer a
for us.
podcast and
But
the
when
man
a
is for the
man,
woman, I'll support the woman.
Everyone suddenly
But
becomes
for now,
a professional speaker.
a woman cheats on the man. I will leave it like that. She brought problem to her house. Why?
because an African man, that's his judgment.
So now I can't go back to my
But when you cheat, it's for better for
I
us.
did not cheat. The man did not cheat. It's the woman that cheated. Nobody has accepted the man cheating.
All I'm saying is put yourself. If I was the one, you expect the woman to forgive.
Okay.
So why can't you forgive her?
Okay. Let me
For having a
Okay.
naughty
For the sake of
So
what
you're
you're
saying you will
saying.
not forgive.
I'll not forgive
So
them,
but
I'll
he's
not
also saying
forgive
he would.
For the sake of what
himself.
she's saying about the
Okay.
man, if I was if for example I was to advise, who do you want to advise now? A woman. Okay, now let's say a man is telling a man, and to advise the woman.
Yeah.
My advice to the woman will be the same thing. Take some time off and buy shoes and think about everything you have right now, and think about your life, the future. If you meet this guy, what will you do after that? If you choose to stay with this guy, how do you want to deal with it? Do you want to have a conversation with this guy? Do you want to know whether, in fact, as a woman, you should have only seen whether you have cheated or not. Except you're not paying attention. Yes, right.
So I think you have a point there.
You understand? So, but I don't want to
They
go back
love
to
the ones that will potentially cheat on them
You know.
because of the things they see around. And when they enter, they want to change that man into being.
You know, in most cases, you know. So now you want to advise a woman. This is my advice. You that, but parameter you didn't see.
So the question is, what would you tell the woman
To
to make her husband
To make her husband forgive her.
Nobody can tell the man to. You cannot. You cannot manipulate a man to forgive someone. If someone's forgive, the person forgives you out of free because the person has to heal first.
Yes.
Personally, you cannot say, do that, the man will forgive is a lie. Do that, the man will forgive is a lie. You can't.
So does she keep on being devastated and depressed?
She has no option. She will just continue to plead with the
If
man.
the man agrees,
She should continue
Yes,
to
she should
plead.
show
If she's
remorse and
truly
continue to
sorry,
plead, yes.
after a while, the man will say, yeah, maybe
Yes.
this person is sorry. And
Yes.
it might take up to 2 years to treat it.
Exactly.
But you have to deal with it. You brought it upon yourself. You understand? It's same thing. What I'm not supposed
And
to say.
some women, while they are waiting for the man to heal, will continue chatting on another
I
man.
say that.
I ain't that.
Yes, that's exactly. She knew it was going to get to this in
Okay.
her marriage, and she started with. She knew the man was chatting, sending naughty chats. She
She
continued.
entertained it.
Yes.
I should get to that.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. A.B. Okay.
You have a lot to say.
I know you have a lot to say, especially to this woman and probably to the man, because cheating is something that I feel like we never really get over.
Yeah.
Somehow, when the partner or when your partner makes a certain move, you be like, don't they go there? This is what you already think ahead. You understand? So, what's your advice to this woman and probably to the husband, just in case he ever watches this podcast?
All right. I was actually listening to everyone, and I was taking note of some things. First of all, we are humans. Nobody is above mistake. Because for what she said, it was a mistake. Yeah, we are humans, and that's what makes us vulnerable. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's one angle. Secondly, I think where she missed it is she didn't draw boundaries to conversation. When you're in a society where maybe in an office environment where you get to relate with the opposite sex, you need to draw some boundaries. There are some chats that would, if she had drawn the boundary, it wouldn't get to this point with him sending naughty texts.
Not to chat.
I will give myself an example. I have a colleague in the office, we talk because of the nature of our work. As a counselor too, I'm a good listener, so from time to time they would want to relate some of these issues. So it got to a point where he sent me an emoji that is very offensive, that is pornographic in nature. Immediately he knew I deleted it because he's an IT person. I deleted it. I said, see, I don't do pornography. What have I done at that line? At that point, I've drawn the line. So where I feel she missed it is she did not draw the line to where conversation should get to. And I feel at some point it looks like she was actually enjoying the
because
attention.
he wouldn't have continued.
Yes.
Yeah. She was responding. I think the man would even be fast to check her response.
Yes, that's what I feel. But at this point now, the deed has been done. The damage has been done. She's sorry. So let's just hope she finds a way to fix it with the husband. We cannot predict how long the man will be angry. But the woman also finds a way to her husband's heart. If it means she has to do it for the longest of time, for the sake of the children and for the marriage, she just has to do it, because for every action there are consequences. And if this is the consequences for her not drawing the line, she should be ready to live with it. But at the same time, she should try to get to the point where she can really make the husband understand how sorry she is. Yes, trust takes time to build, and she has to give him that assurance that it won't happen again. It will take him time, but they have 2 kids together. Nobody would want to raise children separately. It's really very demanding to raise a child, you know. So the 2 of them need to work together. So they should get to a point where they can really sit down, talk about this. My husband, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. That's one aspect. And she needs to, for the longest of time, to see how she can really win her husband's heart back. Then secondly, for the man, at this point, I hope they don't come for me. But what was he doing to the point where another man is already chatting and sending naughty texts? That means there was a distance between them.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I need to be practical. You know, when a woman gets pregnant, one of the things that she needs is attention.
Okay.
Because the whole body needs attention. The baby is disturbing her. She needs that attention. And probably she's nagging. Probably the home is no longer conducive for the man, and he's no longer giving her that attention. So he needs to also understand the psychology of how pregnant women behave. And if he was giving her attention because she's pregnant, and remember there's also a small child, he needs to give her extra attention. So that's another aspect. Maybe at that time, she was not getting the needed attention that she wanted.
The men are not smiling though.
That's why I said, let not come for me. But I'm just trying to be honest, you know, to just lay it down the way it is. That's another thing, because I can tell you, like, as a married man, that there are times that even the married relationship can get boring. We just feel like we're at each other's faces. You know, we need that space. So maybe at that time, that could have been what must have happened, and then there's a little crack in the wall, and then this. But the whole thing has happened. Moving forward now, she should just find a way to win her husband's heart. Give him that assurance that it won't happen again, and then draw the line.
I wonder why she's struggling.
You draw the line.
To win the heart of somebody that was born in just a few days or weeks ago.
No, because she has realized her mistake. She has made
the man is no longer boring all of a sudden.
No, remember we are the ones saying he was boring. We are the ones suggesting, thinking he was
probably working.
She didn't actually say that.
Closeness was there. She would have been able to show you this child.
Let's say
No,
like she said, like
Don't say that. Don't say there's no
like
reason.
doctor
If
said,
you were really
there are a lot of
should have been able
there
to
are a lot of
show
advice.
you.
Do you want them to be?
But if the man goes out every day, he's going to work.
What
If
if
he's
this
doing
man
9 to
was
5,
not
he's going
always
to work.
there?
And the wife is a housewife, for example. How do you want the man to give that attention when probably maybe he calls you
Why is
once
this so
or twice
difficult?
or
Because
3 times? Are you working?
I think maybe this is
Do you know
not
it becomes-
maybe we shouldn't get into this part, because I do not really understand when men say attention is difficult, but I think we'll leave this for another pod maybe. So we have
Let me use sorry before you speak. Let me use you as
Okay.
not you in this context. Right now we'll be here for let's say an hour plus. Let's say you work. Let's say you're a presenter and you work 4 hours straight. So like in 6 hours you have like 15 minutes to talk to your spouse. So in that 15 minutes you chat. Let's say in 6 hours you talk to your spouse. That business, crazy. anytime as much as
Well,
you want.
I think
do not conclude.
I must say this.
I've
the
never
truth
been there,
is,
but I think I would.
for a married relationship, you should be intentional. You don't need to have so much time to give that attention. We should be intentional about it.
If you are chatting with somebody,
See, the
Money
consequence of
after
not
life
being
is very
intentional
often.
should not be
And
chatting with
you're enjoying
another
the
man.
Okay, but this is
You
what
get
I'm
the
saying.
point.
I think she got
The consequence
really
of not being
embodied
essential,
Yeah.
not being should never
so
be.
you say because she got caught. She got caught, even if they catch a man,
Alright,
they because they got
Alright, thank you so much. I think time would not permit us to really go.
Really, time will not permit us because if we should go into this, I'm going to say
Time will permit us. So please, thank you everyone.
Dear Shara, from all you've heard, there's actually no particular advice for you. Maybe you have to keep apologizing. Maybe he needs space. Just do well to respect whatever he wants at this time, but do everything within your power to ensure that your marriage works. All right. We love you, and maybe we will take you to pray. Please just pray. We'll probably be praying here with you. All right. So until we meet again in our next podcast. Bye for now.